always, let's bring ourselves to the center of the mat. And then whichever way you habitually cross your legs, uncross them and cross them the other way. Or you can just ignore me on that front if you would prefer to cross them in your more habitual manner. I'll leave that decision up to you. And then lengthen out your spine, let your shoulders become nice and heavy. And begin to breathe. So just letting your breath steadily come in through your nose and out either through your nose and mouth. And just have a little think about what area of your body you would most like to focus on today. So it could be top half, bottom half, the left side, the right side, or something as specific as your right fingernail. Be an odd choice, but hey, it's your choice. And then when you're ready, we're going to let our arms float towards the ceiling as if they've suddenly become lighter than air. And then just pull on your right wrist up towards the ceiling. And then just bend yourself over to the left-hand side. Pulling that arm as long as you can. Good, before coming back to center, swapping over your hands, reaching the other arm up nice and high, and then bending over to the other side. Good, back to center. Reach both hands as high as you can. Shrug your shoulders back, and then fold yourself forwards. As if you're trying to press your belly towards your ankles. Now nod your head yes, shake it no, and let your shoulders become nice and loose. Before slowly drawing yourself back towards your seated position. Good, let's take a twist around to the left. And then round to the right. And then back to center. Good. Shake out your wrists, flick your fingers, and just move your head gently from side to side and up and down. Good. Roll your shoulders a little bit. And then when you're ready, make your way onto all fours onto the mat. Good, let's spread our fingers nice and wide. Take our time to make sure that our foundation is nice and strong here. Press the finger pads firmly into the floor. And then when you're ready, slide your left foot back. Press through the heel so you're stretching out the back of your left leg. Good, then when you're ready, lift it away from the floor and as high up towards the ceiling as you can. The toes are still pointing down towards the floor rather than at the side. Okay? Good. Now we're going to pop ourselves up high onto our fingertips here. Okay, so we get a little bit of height. Good. Let's take our right toes just a little bit further out to the right-hand side and come back down onto the right palm. Good. Now lean into your right foot so that you can lift your left hand also away from the floor. And then cycle it back, bending your left knee and seeing if you can take it into a little back bend. Pressing into your right foot. Good. Bring everything back down to the floor and give your bum a little wiggle. Good. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So slide your right leg back Good. Press that heel back so you can feel your calf stretching. Look forwards and then lift that foot high towards the ceiling. Feel your bum engage. Good. Come high onto your fingertips again, so you're giving yourself some space. And take your left toes a little bit further out to the left-hand side. Good. Plant your left hand down into the floor. Reach your right arm forwards. Lean into your left foot as you bend your back knee. Cycle your hand back to take hold of it and kick. Breathe. Steady inhale. Steady exhale. Good. Let's release and bring your hands back down towards the floor. Wiggle your tailbone from side to side. Bring your hands a little bit further up towards the top of the mat, and then let your chest sink down towards the floor. And breathe. Good, and then draw yourself back up onto all fours. Hands come underneath your shoulders. And then just gently shift yourself forwards and backwards. Back towards your heels, forwards over the tops of your fingers. Seeing if you can move in time with your breath. Good, and then bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Give your tailbone another wiggle. Hands come forwards by about 1 hand's breadth forwards. Finger pads flat down into the floor. Toes tucked. Lift your knees 2 inches away from the floor. Good. Now move into cat-cow, but with your knees lifted. Okay, so as you inhale, dropping your stomach, bum tilts to the ceiling, and then reversing it as you exhale. Holding yourself. Nice and steady. Good. Keep these movements nice and fluid. Good. A few more. Good. Now when you're ready and you go back with your bum, lead with your bum to press yourself back into downward facing dog. Good. And here just take a few deep breaths in. Good. Now when you're ready, press forwards with your feet and ripple yourself up. So you come into a plank. Hold yourself nice and steady here. If you feel your hips dropping, press your heels back and lift your hips up. Good. Again, while you're in plank, see if you can move through a tiny little cat-cow movement with your bum, where you're sticking your bum up towards the ceiling and then tucking it under. Good, a few more. Ignore the pain in your arms. Good, then when you're ready, press yourself back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and then let it go. Deep breath in and let it go. And maybe cycle into the backs of your legs here to try and stretch them out just a little bit more. Good. Now bring your left foot into the center of the back of the mat, and then imagine you are walking yourself up a tightrope. Okay, placing one foot in front of the other, getting as far towards the top of the mat as you can before lifting your fingers, bringing both feet together at the top of your mat, bending your knees, sticking your bum back, and reaching your hands up towards the ceiling into chair pose. Breathe. Good, draw your hands down towards your chest. Let's take a twist to the left-hand side, hooking your right elbow on top of your left knee. Good, see if you can press down firmly with your hands. Good, then let's take it over to the other side. Breathe. Good, and then again, come back to center. Lift your hands into chair. Breathe. And then press the floor away and come all the way up to standing. Good, press your big toes into the floor and tilt back. Good, now start to bring your weight forwards. Hands come down towards the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And then see if you can tightrope your feet back along the mat until you get all the way to the back of the mat into downward facing dog. Good, inhale, come forwards into a plank. And again, do those tiny little cat-cow hip movements. Good, now once your tailbone is tucked in your plank, lower yourself down through chaturanga and up into cobra. Breathe. Long breath in. Steady breath out. Good, before flipping your toes and going back into downward facing dog. Good, press your right foot firmly into the floor and slowly lift your left leg up as high as you can. Straighten the leg out as much as possible. Good, now we're going to curl it underneath, tap your nose to your knee, and then send it all the way back. Good, again, curl it underneath, and then send it all the way back. Curl it underneath, send it all the way back. Good, this time as you curl it underneath, step the foot up between your hands, lift into a high lunge, hold it there, breathe, and then fold. Good, take your right hand off to the top right corner of the mat, bend deeply into your left knee, strengthen your back leg by pressing your heel back, and then turn, bringing your left hand onto your lower back and encouraging your left shoulder back. Good, before rounding back and stepping both feet back into a plank. Say both feet, just your left foot that was up. Good, again, let's take ourselves down through chaturanga and up into cobra before pressing yourself back into downward facing dog. Long breath in, steady breath out. Good, left foot presses into the back of the mat as you lift your right leg up behind you. Good, when you're ready, curl this leg underneath you. Come forwards, nose to knee. Send it all the way back. Good, again, curl it underneath. Nose to knee. Send it all the way back up. Curl it underneath. Good, send it all the way back up. This time, step that foot right up in between your hands or as far forwards as you can get. And then lift yourself high into high lunge. Breathe. Hold your legs nice and steady here. Good, before gently folding yourself back to the floor. Left hand goes to the top left corner. Strengthen your back leg, bend into your right knee a little bit more. Place your right hand on your lower back and then encourage your right shoulder back as you look towards the ceiling. Breathe. Good. Rotate yourself back round to look towards the floor. This time, we're going to step the back foot up So we're folding over our feet. Now lengthen your legs out as much as possible here. Press your chest forwards as far as it will go. And then try and curl it down towards the floor. Bring your hands so they're dangling. Good. Now press into the floor and then reach all the way up to standing. Good. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Tilt yourself over to the right hand side before coming back to center, swapping over your hands, and then tilting over the other way. Good. Back to center before folding back down towards the floor. Bend your knees nice and deeply. Either tightrope your feet back or fly back to your plank. Again, do your hip movements in your plank. Holding it nice and steady. Good. Next time you tuck the tailbone, keep it there. Lower yourself down through chaturanga and back and up into cobra. Before flipping on your toes, taking yourself back to downward facing dog. Good. Bend your knees nice and deeply here. Stick your bum as high as you can, and then begin to lengthen your legs out only as long as your bum doesn't start to tilt back towards the front of the room, back of the room. Good. Take a long breath in, and then let it go. Good. When you're ready, left foot presses into the floor as your right leg lifts towards the ceiling. We're going to bend our right knee, open our hips to the side, look underneath our left armpit, and just see if we can see our foot, our right foot. Good. Now come high on your left toes. Curl the leg around, and then step it up in between your hands. Good. Slowly rise up, high lunge. Good. Now twist out into warrior two. Good. Bring your hands to your waist. Now stick your bum back, okay, in your warrior two. And then we are going to scoop it back forwards and engage our core muscles. Good. See if we can sink a little lower into your front right knee. Good. Until you feel a nice strong stretch here on your inner thighs. Now bring your arms out. Good. Now we're going to begin to lower by bending into that front knee as deeply as we can. Okay, now as we get as deep as possible, we're going to pretend to scoop something up off of the floor and then reverse our warrior. Good. Now reach that right arm as far towards the back of the room as you can. Open your chest. Good. Pull it forwards. Elbow connects with the top of the thigh. Left hand reaches over. Now reach your right hand forwards. Good. Now sink a little lower. Breathe. Hold it there. Good. Nice and slowly. Draw yourself back to your warrior two. Good. Now we're going to start to straighten our front leg and reach our hands towards the ceiling. Good. And then bend. Good. Straighten, lift your hands, and bend. Good. Straighten, and bend. One more. Straighten, and bend. Good. Take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders, and then pivot your arms down towards the floor. Unplug your back heel. Good. We're now going to connect our left knee to the back of our right calf in quick succession. We're going to do this 4 times, okay? So when you're ready, up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. Good. Hands plant into the floor. Take yourself back through plank, chaturanga, and cobra. Good. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Long breath in. And let it go. Long breath in. And let it go. Long breath in. And let it go. And then just hold yourself steady in your downward facing dog. Breathe. Maybe closing your eyes here. Good. And when you're ready, press into your right foot. Left leg lifts towards the ceiling. Good. Bend the knee. Open the hips to the side. Look underneath your right armpit. See if you can find that foot. Now come really high on your right toes. Curl this leg round and step it up in between your hands. Good. Inhale, lift, high lunge, and then pivot out. Warrior 2. Good. Again, bring your hands to your waist. Stick your bum back and then scoop it under so that we can feel our core muscles engage. Then bring your arms out. Breathe. Good. Now we're going to sink into our left knee. Imagine we're trying to pick something off of the floor. Reach forwards, lift it up. Reverse your warrior. Good. Reach that left arm back as much as you can. Bend into that front knee. Good. And then come back to warrior 2. Good. Let's bend our left elbow onto the top of the thigh as we reach our right arm over, and then extend your left arm forwards. Bend nice and deeply into that front knee. Stretch, breathe. Good. Before rotating yourself all the way back up. Good. Now start to straighten your front leg and reach up towards the ceiling. Hold it there. Breathe. Good. Before coming back out, rebend and then straighten and rebend. Straighten and rebend. Straighten and rebend. Straighten and rebend. Good. Inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, pivot your hands down towards the floor, unplugging your back heel, stepping yourself into a plank. Nope, you're not. You're keeping your left foot all the way up at the top of the mat. And then in quick succession, we're going to touch the right knee to the back of the left calf. When you're ready, lift and back, lift and back, lift and back, lift and back. Good. Now step your left leg back. Take a deep breath in. Lower yourself down through chaturanga. Curl yourself back and up into cobra. Open your chest. Deep breath in. Steady breath out. Good. Flip over onto your toes and press yourself back into downward facing dog. Again, maybe close your eyes here or do whatever you need to do just to hold yourself strongly in your downward facing dog. Good. Then when you're ready, look between your hands, bend your knees deeply, and see if you can fly to the top of the mat. Good. Staying high on your tiptoes, we're going to unravel as slowly as possible. Okay, so start by lifting your legs, or your hips even, to straighten out your legs. And then slowly begin to unravel. Before lifting your hands towards the ceiling, stretching yourself nice and long. Good, and then we're going to go back exactly the same way we got it. So bringing yourself down, hands onto the mat, still with your heels lifted. See if you can fly to the back of the mat. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Good. Deep breath in. Steady breath out. When you're ready, left leg lifts towards the ceiling. We're then going to curl it underneath this and set ourselves up for pigeon, where our left knee goes behind our left wrist. We can lower our right knee down towards the floor. Good. Bring yourself nice and high onto your fingertips here and look forwards. Take a deep breath in and then let it go. Good. Now squeeze your legs together and see if you can lift yourself away from the floor, hands towards your chest. Good. Next stage is to lift the back foot away from the floor. Cycle your right arm round and take hold of that foot, keeping that left hand by your chest. Breathe. Good, then release. Both hands come back down towards the floor. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, begin to fold over your front knee as far as you wish to go. Either with your elbows crossed like this, with your head resting, or if you want to reach your hands forwards to go a little bit deeper, decide what's best for you. Breathe. Every inhale you take, see if you can try and loosen up the inside of your left thigh. And every time you exhale, let your whole body relax. Good, and then when you're ready, start to draw yourself back towards your hands. Lift your back knee away from the floor and lift yourself up and back into a three-leg dog. Good, we're gonna bend that left knee, take it over to the backside, to your backside, across your backside. We're basically moving into wild thing. So we're gonna drop our left foot down behind us and reach our left arm forwards into our wild thing. Good, before flipping ourselves back over into our three-leg dog, pulling forwards into a three-leg plank, lowering ourselves down through chaturanga, back to cobra, and then downward facing dog. Good, before you start to lift your right leg up, and then curl it underneath And take pigeon on the other side. Good. Let's come high onto our fingertips here. Long breath in. Steady breath out. Start to bend your back knee. Squeeze the two knees together. And then cycle your left arm back. Take hold of your foot. And hold your right hand by your chest. And breathe. Good. Then when you're ready, release your leg. Hands come back down to the floor. And then gently lower yourself down as far forwards as you wish to go. And breathe. Again, every time you inhale, feel like you're trying to send that breath to the inside of your right thigh. And every time you exhale, you release and relax the whole of your body. Good, and then when you're ready, start to draw your hands back towards you. Lift your back knee away from the floor and stretch yourself up and back into a three-legged dog. Good, bend that right knee and drop the foot down behind you into a wild thing. And breathe. Before flipping yourself back over into a three-legged dog. Went a bit long there. And pull your full self forwards into a three-leg plank. Three-leg chaturanga. Cobra. And then a child's pose. And here in child's pose, see if you can try and regain your breath. Before starting to draw yourself back up to sitting on your heels. Good, we're gonna shift ourselves round onto our bum and swing our legs out in front of us. Good, now make sure that the toes are nice and active on your feet. And we're just going to start with a simple forward fold. So when you're ready, inhale to lift your hands up towards the ceiling and then start to tilt forward. So you're pressing your chest forwards first. When your chest can't go forwards anymore, let your hands drop to wherever they land. Shrug your shoulders back and just try and see if you can edge yourself a little bit further forwards. Breathe. Feel that stretch running up the back of your legs, into your bum, and maybe a little bit on the lower back. Before bringing yourself back up to your seated position. Good. We're going to bend our left knee so it's inside, pressing into the inside of our right thigh. Good. Turn and look at your extended leg. This time we're going to reach forwards with our right hand. Okay? So lean forwards. If you're able to get hold of your foot, great. If not, just take hold of the underside of your leg wherever you can reach. Turn your body so you're pointing your body away from your extended foot. And then with the other hand, try and reach behind you as far as you can onto the floor. And breathe. You're pulling yourself back up, swapping over your legs, and then doing the same thing. So curling the toes back towards you, reaching your left hand forwards. If you can take hold of the foot, great. If not, underside of your leg, and then your other hand behind you. As far back while still touching the floor. You should feel this now more up the sides of your back and your legs, or your extended leg. Good, and then when you've finished, bring yourself back up. Where we're going to cross our right knee, so it's like this on the mat. We've crossed it, so the lower part of your leg is parallel. We are then going to cradle our other leg, if possible, getting your foot into the crease of your elbow and holding it like you would a baby. And then gently start to rock your legs from side to side. Good. Then once you've finished with that first leg, swap over so you can start to cradle your left. Just those gentle movements from side to side. And then once you've finished that side, bring the soles of your feet together. Shift your bum back as much as you can until your legs are nearly touching the floor. Okay, so there's a little gap here. You may have more of a gap, your legs may be up here. If that's the case, just bring your feet a little bit further forwards. We want to have just that small gap where your legs are. And then begin to press as if you're trying to encourage your legs to touch the floor. You can either do this with your forearms or your hands. It's a gentle press to encourage your legs just to stretch along the inside of your legs. Good, then draw your knees back up. Bring yourself lengthways along the mat, feet down on the floor, chest lifted, back straight. Hands are parallel to the floor, feet clawed into the mat. We're going to do this 3 times, okay? So we're going to inhale, reach forwards, lift our hands high, and then begin to roll back. And then reach our hands high again to roll ourselves up. Okay, 2 more of those. So lean forwards, lift our arms, engage your core muscles, roll yourself back. And then reach your hands up to come back to where you were. Last one, reach forwards, hands lift, and then roll yourself down towards the floor. Once you come down this time, stay down, lengthen out your legs, and just feel your body sinking into the floor. And when you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and gently rock yourself from side to side. And see if you can draw your your knees close to your body, and so that you can draw your hands so they're on the top, the underside of your thighs. Then I'd like you to flex your toes and try and lengthen out your legs. I mean, we probably won't get very far, but you're still pulling on that area of your lower back, bum, the top of your legs. And then release. Okay, draw your feet down towards the floor, so the soles of the feet touch. Bring your knees together. Take both arms over your head and gently rock your legs like windscreen wipers from side to side. Good, and then when you're ready, start to bring your feet forwards and down onto the mat. Hands come back to place either side of your body, or bringing your hands to rest on your belly. And breathe. Just allowing your body to melt down into the floor. As you start to relax all of your muscles. And when you're ready, start to take a deep breath in through your nose. And a long breath out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and your nose. Draw your knees in towards your chest. And then roll yourself over to either the right or the left-hand side. Pushing yourself up to your seated position that you took at the beginning of the session. And let's take a nice deep breath in together. And a long breath out. And flutter your eyelids open. Thank you for joining today. Enjoy the rest of your evening, whatever you have planned. Please make sure you drink lots of water. But until next time, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say. My brain's frazzled. To each and every one of us who have been here today, most importantly, to yourselves, we can bow and say, Namaste.